Hey everyone, welcome to today's podcast. I have an amazing guest, Stephanie Hoffman. She's a spiritual life and business mentor. So today we're going to be talking about how to stop making your life and business a crazy roller coaster and that it is possible. So, hey Stephanie.
Yeah. Hey girl. I'm so excited for this topic. First and foremost, because I feel like this was me for so long. And I hear so many coaches, life coaches, business coaches, a lot of these people in this online space just say, oh yeah, it's a roller coaster.
Yep.
And I really am so excited for us to talk about this because it doesn't have to be. It just doesn't.
So who here thinks that, entrepreneurship, you just have to be on this roller coaster? Come on, give me an amen. I know you're there. I know you can hear me. Okay, so what? It doesn't have to be a roller coaster. So we're going to kind of go over some things that you can try and avoid the roller coaster ups and downs and more consistency in your business.
Absolutely.
All right. So one of the topics that we went over when we kind of talked about this was that you have to trust yourself. So where have you guys been and you just, that downhill slope is actually you not trusting yourself? And, I don't know about you, but the one time that I went 3 months, I'm going to just tell you guys, I went 3 months without making like any more clients, any real money in my business. And it was because I was on that downhill slope and that it was going faster and faster downhill. And I didn't trust any aspect of what I was doing. Every single thing I did, I second guessed myself. I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to fit this mold and I couldn't do it, and so it wasn't working. Has that ever happened to you before?
Yes. And I feel like that's where a lot of this sparked for me, because I was constantly looking essentially like outside of myself for all the answers, right? I've worked with several different types of business coaches, several life coaches, mentors, you name it, all different price ranges from $4,000 a month to $150 a month. And I think really what happened for me that I can speak on is that instead of understanding that I had everything I needed within me, I was continually putting these other people who essentially I hired on this pedestal, right? Because I knew that they had what I wanted. And so I thought I almost had to become them to get what I wanted that I saw in them. And it really made me lose sight of who I was, lose sight of who I am, lose that trust within myself. So instead of looking at the answers I thought I had, I just totally disregarded all of that. And I was just soaking in everything that they had to say, and really, really lost myself for a while.
Yes. So that's the same with me. And I love coaches and I will continue to hire coaches, but it's like building that framework and that trust in yourself to know when to listen to them and when not to listen to them. So a good example about this was one of the coaches that I hired that kind of got me into this hole because I kept trying to shape myself into this mold. Is she was like, oh, like stay in your lane, stay in your own lane, and stop trying to sell something that you're not the greatest at. And I was like, whoa, wait, you actually don't really know me because I'm in the group course. And she didn't see my stuff. It was a big course. And she didn't know what I was good at. She didn't know I was good at creating consistency in businesses for the last 7 years, and helping marketing strategies. So she didn't know, and I couldn't take that to heart. That actually helped me grow as a person and as a coach, to not always put my ideals onto my clients, but to maybe be a little more introspective, ask them questions, but also be secure in what you're good at.
Absolutely. Because we take that on, right? Like we look at them and we know they know what they're doing. And even hearing you say something like that, I feel that for you, right? Because I know that would have been something that I would have heard and been like, oh gosh, maybe she's right. Right. And that really has been a lot of my journey within my business, is is really understanding that I get to choose what it is I want to do. It doesn't have to look like what anyone else is doing. Nothing that any of us does should look like what anyone else does, because we are our own person.
That's so true. It did. For a second, I was like, oh yeah, I need to focus on something else. But then it took a little while, but this is something I'm good at in the past, maybe at not a brand new business that I'm growing, but it's something I've done for several businesses. So, I just had to take a step back and really identify which things I am good at that I've proven in the past and bring it to my future, and not just do what these other clients or coaches were telling me. And I remember you telling me, so you kind of had a crazy year last year, okay? So what was some of your like ups and downs, and definitely just share.
Yeah. So just being like totally open, right? I'm through it all now. I'm feeling so good and so beautiful. But last year hit really hard for me. And I really remember that like whole roller coaster phrase being something I said all the time. And really, unfortunately, where I was at was I was in a marriage where I wasn't happy. And really I wasn't happy with myself. Right. And so a lot of these things that were ups and downs within my life, were hitting me really hard in my business too. So it was like I was constantly grasping for something that would make me happy and almost like make me feel whole, and then blaming everything outside of myself for the issues. So that's like the legit raw vulnerable answer.
Yeah.
I had a lot of transitions, right? A lot of changes in my life, and really like my business, my income went up and down with the changes, so I'd have a month where I'd make $26,000 or $32,000 legit, like all in the bank that month. And then I'd have one month where I'd make $7,000 or $4,000. So yeah, I got myself in a lot of debt last year. And really just like had this beautiful like upheaval of finding myself really throughout all of that. Yeah.
And I heard this with a lot of people. So after going through that roller coaster ups and downs on your money and, in your business and emotionally, what would you tell somebody that is getting on that roller coaster right now and they're having these high months and then these really low lows? Like, what's something that you could tell them?
Oh my gosh. Stop moving right now and just assess, because I feel like we constantly feel like we've got to keep moving forward. If we're not moving forward, we're moving backwards. And I think that, that idea for me caused massive burnout.
Okay.
And for me, that also meant that I wasn't taking care of myself. I was too afraid to slow down to take care of myself, if I'm being truthful. Because if I slowed down, then it would stop moving, but it wasn't ever really moving in the right direction that I wanted it to move in. So I think the biggest thing to know is that you can have that kind of success. You can make whatever kind of money you set out to make, right? You can, if your goal is $5,000 a month, you can make $5,000 a month. If your goal is $50,000 a month, you can make $50,000 a month. But you can do that and feel good about every area of your life as well. And that was a concept that I did not understand. Like I was like, no, if I'm going to be making this amount of money, I need to be doing this and this and this, and I don't have time for this. And so slow down, like really slow down and really look at the areas in your life that you're completely avoiding. I mean, like avoiding, like thinking about doing this and then actually taking steps to do this makes you feel like someone is inside your body rubbing underneath your skin with sandpaper. It's uncomfortable.
Amen. Amen, sister. Okay, like 100%. I just have so much things like, okay, so the 3 months, I talk about these 3 months. It was a struggle month. Okay. It was because I wasn't allowing myself to slow down. I already built it up. And then I just wanted to hit it now, every single day, hitting the concrete as hard as I possibly can. But I wasn't allowing myself to have fun in my life. I was like, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money to have fun in my life or to give myself self-care or to take a breath. And I literally didn't make money. Like, it's because I didn't allow myself and take care of myself and add some fun into my life. And I bet some people have been there, like they're just like grind, when literally taking self-care is just so important. So you come back stronger and clearer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't understand what self-care really meant for the longest time. And I think that's something that we all each really need to discover for ourselves if we want to lead a really happy, balanced life as entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. So what are some self-care things now that you do into your life?
Oh my gosh. I think, honest to goodness, just the idea of slowing down, right? Like releasing and removing the judgment that I have over my actions. Because I'm a massive go-getter. Like I'm a control freak. I'm a doer. So for me, if I set out to do something and I don't do it, I'm in my head all day. Like, well, you should have done this. You should have done that, right? So I'm constantly judging, constantly afraid that I didn't do this the right way. So slowing down for myself and really doing the work to get behind those thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so for me, like activities that I do is just spending more time with my dogs, cooking, doing yoga, going out on hikes. I'm here in beautiful Sedona.
Yeah.
So this is the most beautiful place you can go on hikes.
Making time.
Taking the time to understand that when I fuel myself in these ways too, I know that that's where the creative juices for all the content, for all the ideas, for all the money-making things come, right? So like, I always kind of say, like, I know I used to, and maybe a lot of the listeners here are literally vice gripping the heck out of whatever it is they're trying to do. And it's like, I see this visual of like us almost like choke holding something, like strangling the life out of it. And it's like, just let it breathe. Let it have the space to breathe like how it's supposed to. Yeah.
Yep, that's so true. And do you have any tips? Because I know that just sounded just like me, how to stop judgment. Like how do these high achievers that just like have, shoot for the stars, and then if you don't go over the moon that you hate yourself. I know you guys are listening. So what are some tips for like to stop that judgment, that self-hate?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that. So the first thing that I think is really important, this is a motto that I take, this is just literally my embodiment of my life, is that everything always works out for me.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
So that's one. There's two that I use. That's one. And it's huge. So if we can just slide that into our lives and really understand that that is something, if we can lean back onto it with so much faith that everything always works out for us, it doesn't matter then if something really crappy happened to you. It doesn't matter if you just tanked on the launch that you're supposed to make 40K on. It doesn't matter, because we know that this happened for a purpose. And so we can always kind of dig deep and learn the lessons within that, because it's always happening for us, right? So everything always works out for me. I actually have a little t-shirt you can buy on my website that has that. I wear it all the freaking time. And then the second one is really just that I'm always in the right place at the right time, doing and saying the right things. And that's big. Like I even had to take a deep breath after that one, because that's huge, right? Really, really, really understanding that everything is always happening purposefully for us, right? So this is, again, like going back to that letting it breathe, right? Letting it breathe, removing judgment, and really just dropping into who you are. And I know you said that even earlier, like, wait. If I remove her thoughts out of my head, I know that I'm good at this, right? And if I know that I'm good at this, then what do I see for myself? So I think it's a lot of just like slowing down, and also doing the heavy work. And I say there's two types of work. There's the inner work and the outer work. And people like you and I, Tia, we're really, really freaking good at doing the outer work.
Yes.
And results,
so,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we're like, look at how freaking awesome I am. Look at what I just did. But like slowing down and doing the inner work too, so that it's so balanced and that we don't feel like we're on crack all day and then crashing every 2 weeks. Like,
Yes. So that's, I get on that, like that upward, like going up, because I'm just on this, like, I'm so good. I'm so awesome. I'm killing it. And that's like the visualization of going up the roller coaster. And then this is the time when you're getting up there and you got that peak to kind of maybe keep it consistent and take like maybe a little bit of some self-care, some relaxation, have some fun in your life, go take a bath. And then, you know what, you can like keep it, at a plateau for a second if you like, and then keep going up. But it's that break. It's that, like, don't keep going and then crash. Because I've been there and I've done that. You gotta take a step back. You gotta like give yourself some time to breathe. And then also I was going to add to that is look for help.
Absolutely.
Like something that
I think
it's hard.
Yeah, I think that we're in this place, and I really want to kind of clarify. I know we spoke, on not putting, these coaches and mentors on a pedestal, but that does not mean by any realm that I don't recommend everyone have someone that they can go to, or multiple someones, right? I mean, Tony Robbins has how many mentors he works with?
Yes.
So you really have to figure out where your weaknesses are as a human being, right? And that when you can find someone who you resonate with to fill that gap for you, then that's when you're going to just become like all powerful. And it's so beautiful because I can like feel it as you were talking about that roller coaster going up and up and up. And that feeling, like what I really want everyone to understand is that feeling can be within you at all times. At all times, like in the lowest of the lows and the highest of the highs, you can still feel that. And that to me is what that consistency is. That to me is getting off the roller coaster, because you're always feeling good no matter what's going on.
Yeah. So how do you, I mean, I can share some of what I do now, but how do you feel good when you're on that lower end? Like, what is something that you can maybe help when they're down at that low end to like take a step back and just reframe?
Yeah. Great question. So I really like to, kind of going back to what I said, like everything's always working for us. Every challenge that's presented to us really is a way for us to learn, a lesson for us to learn. So if something just happened, I don't even know, something really shitty just happened to you, and it makes us want to just kind of go back into our hole, right? Like, oh my gosh, I knew this was going to happen. How am I going to do this? I don't know if this is going to be successful, whatever. Like, instead of going there with your thoughts, if you go there, that's fine. Don't judge, feel it, recognize it, right? Become aware of it. And then actually you can choose. You can actually just simply choose, I don't want to think this anymore. And then you don't have to. It's really powerful. But look at the lesson. There is a lesson in what you were given. So here's just like a really silly example. I've been in this place in my life where I've had a lot of beautiful things flowing to me at rapid pace. And what it's brought up for me, and maybe a lot of you guys are feeling this right now too, is a lot of my old patterns, a lot of them being shoved right back into my face. Something as simple as I used to be the person who moved around so quickly that I had snags on my clothes and bumps and bruises all over my legs because I was running into shit. That was me. That was like my identity for years. I haven't been that person in probably at least 2 or 3 years, but like she's coming out again. It's really, so I have like bumps and bruises all over my legs. And I really like took a moment the other day to be like, whoa, like, what is this teaching me? Like, what is my lesson here?
What is this teaching you? You guys take a break when something's going wrong. And what is this teaching you? So true. I actually have one that popped up. So there was this time that I was feeling, I don't know, I've talked to a few coaches, and during last year around August, September, October, a lot of people had this big shift in their life. They had a lot of changes, and it's just been a lot of people I've talked to. So if this relates to you, cool. So there was a time that I realized I was feeling really lonely, extremely. This is when everything was kind of going to shit. And I was like, how can I take this as a lesson? How can I take this as a lesson that the people that I was surrounding myself were hurting me emotionally, and they were not the people they seemed like they were who I wanted to be with, but I was trying to make them fit. I was trying to make them fit. They were missing a big piece of what I wanted with the people around me, was emotional intelligence and being able to communicate effectively with your emotions. And so I had to take a step back, and I was like, okay, so what is this teaching me? And it was teaching me that I needed to stop trying to fit these people with me. I needed to level up my friends. I needed to also me level up as a person. So me be more emotionally intelligent and share my emotions and what I need and my wants. And so it was like a mirror. It was like, these people aren't doing this, but maybe I need to do that as well. Like, what I need to act more on. I don't know if this is getting too deep here.
Well, I'd love to share what I hear when you say that, because like what I hear is that you were hanging on to these relationships, right? So it's a lot, like a big lesson on release, right? And knowing that if you release, it's like, it's always this or something better.
Yes.
Right. And really taking that time. And this is one that a lot of us don't naturally see, but taking that time to really look at what it is you're trying to get from the relationship and how you can give that to yourself instead of searching it out in others.
Or are you being that person that you want?
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you like who it's making you?
So I started, you guys, this time was so transformative. So now I can look back at these 3 months of hell, and I literally grew a lot as a person. So I started to be that person. I spoke my emotions and how I felt, and I did it unapologetically because they did not respond well. And I knew that because they weren't on that level, but it was still okay with me because I got it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think there's always this, it goes back to being able to trust yourself, right? You've got to know that you're always supported. You're always good, no matter what. And sometimes that means, especially, what I hear is like, you were just shifting your vibrations. Like you were vibrating at a higher frequency than they were, and they were not coming along for the ride. And so, some of you listening right now may be in that place where you feel like your world is totally shifting, and it is. Remember these things you asked for? Remember these things you're working so hard for? This is the universe trying to give it to you. Open up, like receive it. And there's a little bit of work that goes behind that, right?
There is, you guys. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of work, okay? Like stepping into this next level person is not easy, but it's so worth it. I got to tell you guys some good things. So, because, we're talking about this struggle, but I started to level up as that person. I stopped hanging out with these people, and I was lonely, you guys. I was, like, months. But guess what? Now I made up those weekends and that time open, that now I can hang out with people above me and people that teach me and people that, oh man, I hung out with one of my mentors, and like, I was like, she's going to be my new biz bestie. Like, I wanted her to be my friend. Guess what? We went out like in LA, and our things that we talk about are deep shit. Like, we talk about challenges. We talk about life goals. Like, it gives me the chills. Like,
it's like, this is just the beginning, and it's just the beginning because you were ready. Right. And I think there's so many people, and I just really want to speak to the listeners here, because there's so many of you who work so hard to get to where you want to be. And it is difficult, but the difficult part is us getting in our own freaking way.
Yep.
Right. So just release it. Like for you, you were brave enough, you were bold enough, you could see through to the other side of what you wanted in stepping up into your power in that relationship, in those relationships that you needed to shed. So this is what having what you want looks like. It looks like you stepping up to the plate, asking for what you want when it's being given to you, answer the challenges.
Yeah, and that's how you can make awesome friends like Stephanie here, is like because we step up to the plate and we change who we like surround ourselves with, and then you just make these real deep relationships in all of your life. Relationships, friendships, family, whatever you want to call it. Like, it just opens up a whole new world for you guys.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I feel like this was just so powerful. You guys, if you're listening and you got some good stuff from here, like share it with your friends. You got to take a screenshot, tag us on Instagram, share it on your feed, on your story, and tag us. Let us know. We want to hear. Plus, this helps more people hear this. Like, some people, they need to hear this. So give us a review, a heart, and go ahead and follow Stephanie. Yes. What's your Instagram?
Instagram is My Zestful Life. So all one word.
Yes. So tag both of us. We'd love to see it. We'll respond to your stories and just say, hey, connect. Like, that's what it's all about. Absolutely. We want to connect with more sexy biz babes.
Yes, girl, get it. Yes.
Yes. So do you have any place else besides Instagram that they could go ahead and follow you, your website or anything?
Absolutely. Yeah. So my business is My Zestful Life. So you can go to myzestfullife.com and check me out if you want. I hang out on Instagram often. So I'm on my stories pretty much all the time. And then really just Facebook, right? My Facebook profile, which is Stephanie Hoffman. So you can find and follow me there. So I do a lot of Facebook Live videos and all that stuff, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. What's your favorite thing to help with? Like, is it mindset? Like, what's your favorite transformation that you like to bring to your clients?
Yeah, well, I think, it's mindset stuff. And it's so interesting to me, right? Because I started this business like very much like a doer, action taker, like seer of results, right? And so I remember my coach being like, oh, we just work on a little bit of mindset stuff. And I'm like, what would I need that for? Yeah. But I think too, like what's really important is people like ourselves, we're already successful. We already know how to do the things. So maybe we need to hire someone to learn one or two things so that we can, be who we want to be in that realm. Mm-hmm. But oftentimes it's the blocks, it's the bullshit patterns that we've taken on from children now to adulthood that just are not serving us anymore, that are stopping us from really being these powerful women that we want to be. So yeah, I talk a lot about mindset stuff and really relate it back to business because that's really what matters, and your life. I had a client recently be like, I want to make more money in my business. And then we ended up starting to talk about her love life and how she can really like attract her soulmate and all that stuff. Cause it's all one in the same.
Yes. So I like that you cover this.
If you're lacking in one area, you're lacking in the other. And sometimes we actually just get more afraid of talking about it with money, but it's all the same thing. So yeah.
What you're lacking. That's so true. Just one last thing is when I was in that little hole, like it just kept getting bigger because I just kept digging it and like one thing was out of whack and then another thing was out of whack and then it just kept going like this crazy thing. And then I realized, oh, I gotta keep myself happier. I gotta work out. I gotta like self-care. And then everything else started to get better. Literally. Like I went just negative $383 in my bank account. And then the next couple months I had 10,000 in my bank account. So that was the lowest low I've ever hit. And then that was the highest high. So like, it was crazy, but it was.
And it happened like that for you, right?
Yep.
Because you were ready. Like once you were ready to shift, once you learned the lessons, it comes to you, right? So that's what I say, like, reach out. If anyone here is struggling with this stuff, I would love to hear from you because this stuff, you don't have to be in this hole for very long. Like you don't have to ride the roller coaster. You don't even have to ever be in a low.
Yeah, you don't have to. And you can just also change your mindset and look at it differently. And then as lessons and it doesn't have to be this big old thing. Like you're making it bigger when you're in that low. I was making it worse when I was in that low because I kept talking about the low and I kept thinking about it. So reach out to Stephanie if you need to like get out of the hole or if you need just some mindset help. So definitely reach out to her, and there will be some links, and go ahead and tag us. Like, let us know, tag some of your friends, share it, because they probably need to hear this too, right? All right.
Oh, thank you so much, Tia.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right. See you guys.
Bye.